Hello, I'm Simon Turner from the Changemakers Partnership. We help people in the Scottish sports system adopt the Changing Lives approach. Now, being intentional about setting the price of sports activities is a key part of becoming financially sustainable. There are two main perspectives when it comes to setting prices. One is supply side thinking. This view starts with an understanding of what it costs to provide our activities. The second is demand-side thinking. This view starts with an understanding of what customers want and how much they're willing to pay. Both perspectives are valid when it comes to making pricing decisions. When using the demand-side thinking approach, it helps to define demand as a customer's willingness and ability to pay for an activity at a certain price point. If willingness to pay is high, but ability is low, we may need to lower the price to make it easier to buy our activity. Or if willingness to pay is low, but ability to pay is high, we could look to improve the quality of our activity to make it more desirable. Demand frequently changes. It will respond to changes in price, quality, and income level. Now let's unpack three ways of setting a price. Supply-side thinking will lead us to a cost-based approach, in which we calculate the cost of providing the activities and perhaps add a markup. So if a games hall costs 40 quid and a coach costs 20 quid and we think there's 20 people who will attend, we could divide the total cost of 60 quid by 20 to give us a break-even price point of £3 per person. And then we could increase it to £4 to give us a sustainability buffer. Demand-side thinking could prompt us to look down the road at similar sports activities and match their pricing. Two football clubs in the same town with similar teams may have similar pricing. Another demand thinking approach is to consider the value or impact we offer people and set our pricing to match their perceptions. If the quality of our delivery is high, perhaps people will be willing to pay more. All three approaches are valid. I suggest try to use all three approaches, see what price point you come up with across those three, and then triangulate those together. The higher the perceived value and the lower the cost and number of competitors, the more likely an activity is to be sustainable. Right. Here's some pricing tactics you could use. Freemium. That's where training is free or cheap, and then if you play a game on the weekend, there's an extra cost. Premium. That's if you're really confident that you're the best club in town, so you can set your price higher. You could bundle. If somebody's coming to your weekly sessions during a term, they could get a discount on the school holiday camps. Sliding. Buy more, pay less. So if there's a sibling in the household, then that second child might get a discounted rate. Pay as you can. This is interesting because it requires a high level of trust in the participant, and you're obviously risking that people won't pay anything. What about a tiered approach? This is where you have different prices for the same service. Now, let me give you an example of a tiered approach, because we use that at our basketball club, because it's a great solution that, in our experience, both increases revenue from some customers while also making it cheaper for others. When a member signs up to our club, they simply choose one of four options. Pay it forward for those who want to support others, the standard rate, a subsidized rate if you're facing some financial challenges, particularly if that's short term, and a no-cost rate for those who truly can't afford it. Now, this approach can be tricky and it requires a lot of trust. If you have a transactional relationship with your members, this won't work. But if you have a transformational relationship with your members, you will have built up a high willingness to pay. And if that is matched by high quality, then you can use a tiered approach because it can work brilliantly because you're going to get increased revenue from those willing to pay it forward, but you can also use that to offset providing subsidized and no-cost rates. Now, the first year we did this, 19% of our members chose to pay it forward, while literally the same number of people, 19%, chose either free or subsidized. So it was this balance that gave us a really strong basis for sustainability. So here's the key point. An intentional approach to pricing for your activities can lead to both greater inclusion and greater sustainability.